need you to come down, please. I want to ensure everybody gets equal time, so we're making sure this timer is working properly. Thank you. 90 seconds. Shall I read the question again for you, Ms. Gibbs? Okay, thank you.
Your question. Mic check, check, check.
Check. Is your mic going out there?
It's on. It's on. The green light is on.
Yeah. Check.
Mic check, check. Thank you. First of all, your question is about the airport authority. Only the mayor has the capacity or the authority to vote, not vote, but to appoint to the airport authority. How you make sure that the city assets, even when it comes to the airport authority, is preserved, you've got to work with your Jefferson County delegation. Unfortunately, you see what a broken, fragmented relationship looks like on this stage. You have to work with your legislators. You don't just hire lobbyists, you go. You are the mayor. You have the power and the authority, and you should be taking the city council with you and making your position known to those in the state house, whether it is a local bill, a general bill, but we have to work together in concert to make sure that everyone knows in the Alabama State Legislature that before we let you take an asset from the city of Birmingham, we will fight you by any means necessary. That's the reason why we have a law department, and with LaShonda Scales as your mayor, we will employ it and we will use it.
Thank you. Mr. Wolfen.
You repeat the question, please?
Sure. Go back to it here. As mayor, how will you ensure the airport authority will not be taken as the Birmingham Waterworks Board funds?
There are a lot of important things a mayor can do as it relates to the position, but two is to pass a budget or support the passage of a budget that works for everyone, and two is understand your appointment power. It's right, and it is correct. I appoint every single person in the airport authority, and I'm proud of the people that I've appointed to the fact that no one even knows who's on the airport authority board. That's how quiet it is, because they're going about the business of governance, not politics. That is the first rule in protecting your city asset. But two, we know in the South there is a play from Republicans, whether it's airport authorities, whether it is takeover police bills that some people on this stage have publicly supported, or all types of takeovers in states like Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. Bottom line is we need Democrats standing and working together. When the Waterworks was taken over, the city of Birmingham, I did two things. One, we sued the state in federal court, and two, we convened as many Democrats that would come together to fight. And there were two elected officials on this stage that were intentionally not present because they don't play team.
Thank you. Mr. Woodson. The way we were rebutting, if candidates went to an individual person, and as you mentioned him, we offered him a rebuttal. If somebody mentions you, we offer you a rebuttal. But in the forum, we are asking each one to plan for their question. He said, legislator? Yes. You get 45 seconds starting. You get. If he mentioned both, you both get a rebuttal. I thought he said that. He said legislator. 45 seconds rebuttal, Ms. Gabay.
The mayor is the CEO of the city of Birmingham. It is the city of Birmingham Waterworks Board. When this bill was sponsored, the mayor knew 3 weeks before, when it was written, he knew 3 weeks in advance because his lobbyist, Greg Jones, told him. He did nothing. He didn't even respond to the issue until the night that I actually held a town hall meeting to discuss it. So much so that his council representatives were calling him during several of the meetings when we had senators standing up saying that his appointments and the level of incompetence shown by his appointments over and over and over was the reason that they were taking the Waterworks Board. It was said in public space that it is because of the dereliction of duty from him as the CEO of the city of Birmingham, the appointments that he made, that the Waterworks was being taken. And it was always 30 years out, and he did nothing. Another failure.
Thank you. Mr. Woodson. 45 seconds.
It's not gonna even take me 45
Yes, ma'am.
seconds.
Yes, ma'am.
I heard the fact that there were two of us, there's only two other of us that are
Yes.
here that are elected.
Right.
Let me say this to the audience, both here and streaming. I remember sitting in a meeting wanting to support the city when I first became a commissioner, and I was asked out of a room. She remembers because she's the one that told this mayor that she had just left the city council. You should at least allow her to be in the room. So let's not, mistake the facts. I understand your power play and you want to punch tonight, and that's okay. I got it. But I want to be very clear. Facts go both ways. And that's the one thing that I'm not going to allow as a distortion of the truth.
Thank
I
you.
do believe in team.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Mr. Woodson.
I'll say this right here. I'm a business leader. I don't understand the buck not stopping someplace and the ball goes around to everyone. We had a colossal failure of leadership, which is the reason why we lost the Waterworks Board. Everyone didn't do their job. We should have been meeting together, one band, one sound, and there was nobody that brought everyone together. And everyone didn't participate. We've got to be able to perform the autopsy of what's wrong without assigning blame. We've got to change the Mayor-Council Act because everyone needs accountability. We see that in Washington, D.C. right now. It's not a proud thing to have complete authority to appoint all of the board members, and you don't have balance, and you don't have a participative style of government. That would be like me telling my wife, I don't need your input, and we need the input of the whole team, because there are forces that are coming against Birmingham, Alabama, that we need to stand together. When I'm mayor, the buck will stop here, and we'll put the whole team on the field.
Thank you, Mr. Woodson. We will start with Mr. Rice. As mayor, how would you direct revenue and/or resources to black business owners and black contractors and developers?
Thank you for the question. The citizens must understand the disparity study of 2007 that was never implemented. We must understand there was a 2022 disparity study that was never implemented. You have to do a racial disparity study to prove in the courts that there is a disparity. There is a disparity. In areas like professional services, we're under 1%. In areas of goods, it says 0.31%. In other areas, we're extremely low. So let's think about this. We're a 60 to 70% African-American city, and our contractors are getting less than 1% in some areas. So guess what? They cannot create jobs. And they cannot create jobs. You're gonna have derelict Insleys and Wylands and Pratt Cities and East Lakes all over the city. You're gonna have blight. So if they cannot get resources, then these buildings will never be developed. So what I would do, I would use Amendment 772 where possible to invest in our businesses. We do not have to say black. All we have to do is say, does it add to economic development according to Amendment 772? And then we can grant resources to that contractor or to that developer. It just depends on that situation. The other thing is, we will implement the racial disparity study. But we need attorneys to make sure it does not violate the new affirmative action laws based on the new court.
Thank you. Thank you. Mrs. Scales.
One thing that I know as being, having institutional knowledge at the city, the changing of the Mayor Council Act, Section 4.06, allows for the mayor to propose it. There are different organizations, such as your Urban League, Urban Impact, Birmingham Business Resource Center. There are different resources that we can partner with these organizations that their primary mission is to empower black-owned businesses. The reason why they're not really functioning for Birmingham, yet the county has given them money, is because of the city leadership. So you can pretend that this is what you're not doing. I told you, you can fact check scales. I'm good. I want us to understand, if these black-owned businesses are operating at 100% of their own capital, most will not survive. And that's been the case for more than 50 years. I know, because my family had a business on 4th Avenue North and couldn't get a loan from the average bank. That's the reason why Citizens Federal Bank became a part of what my family was able to obtain. Let me say this in closing. The Community Reinvestment Act, the mayor has to employ that. You got to get these banks. We put money in these banks. Why can we not levy these banks, redepositing back into our communities?
Thank you, man. Mr. Woodford.
Yes, sir. We'll let the fact checking begin, because I told you numbers and lies will be on the stage, and so I'm going to set the record straight. The city of Birmingham, and check birminghamal.gov, because the budget is available and is public for everyone. Urban Impact, Urban League, and other organizations she named that the city of Birmingham is not supporting, that is not true, because they are in our city's budget. But beyond that, we have to remember, when COVID hit, so many black businesses not only got hit, they were at the back of the line, or were not able to get in the line as it related to resources, and we knew they were only 14 to 21 days with cash on hand. I'm happy to say that we partnered with the Business Resource Center, with Bob Dickerson, and invested $8 million in support of 3,000 businesses, with majority of them being minority, to assist them in grants. I'm proud of our loan forgiveness program that we've been able to create to support minority and black-owned businesses. I'm proud of the office we created, of the creation of the office to supporting minority and women-owned businesses, to walk with them, to help with their credit, retention, job creation, and growth. These are things we have done and on record, promise made, promise kept, to support black-owned and women-owned businesses.
Mr. Woodson.
Numbers matter. We're going to put $1 billion into black businesses. That hasn't happened. Listen, y'all, we don't have to implement a disparity study. We don't have to do that. When you see hungry children, you feed them. It's really that simple. I'm a black business owner. I don't want a Negro slice of the pie. Bring me to the table like you do everybody else so well in Birmingham, Alabama. We knew that Birmingham was number 50 out of 50 metropolitan areas as far as black participation, businesses participation. The last disparity study done, completed in this administration, we dropped to number 53 out of 53 MSAs. The reason why we don't do better is because when they sit down at the table to do the deal, they don't have our businesses on their mind. We've sent money to black businesses all over the country. We sent $10 million to nonprofits in the last 6 months of 2024. While our small nonprofit businesses are here, they are starving. We get contractors that appear to be from Birmingham. They don't have the hurdle. When I'm your mayor, we'll take that department, turn it inside out. And instead of telling you why you can't be counted in, instead of telling you why you can't get that $1 million contract, they'll come alongside and show you how to do it.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Next question. I'm sorry, you're so correct. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me for that. Please forgive me. Ms. Gavan, please forgive me.
I have some fans out there. They were grumbling. Look out for your sister. Listen.
Child, don't start controversy, child. Let me go and do it now. Hold it. Hold it. I ain't against nobody. Don't do that. I love you. Let's do it.
So, listen, we don't need a disparity study of 22, 23, 24, 25, or 26. If you drive through here, despair. North Birmingham, despair. If you can't do North Birmingham, despair. Make it make sense. We need a leader in the city of Birmingham who will first of all say to any contractor, any developer, anyone who's coming in here to bid or request for big business or incentives for the city of Birmingham, if you want our business, you need to work with our people in the community, people of color, women, and that needs to be on the table day one. Disparity study? We don't need a disparity study. Go down to Roosevelt City, go to Pratt City, go to Riley, go to Roebuck, go to anywhere in this city that's not Forest Park, that's not Highland Avenue, or that's not Glen Irish. Despair is all over the city of Birmingham. 99 neighborhoods, 23 communities, and not all of them matter except for Southtown, Downtown, and Uptown. Make it make sense, everybody. We don't need a study. We need someone in City Hall who's going to fight for the people, who go out and visit the neighborhoods. And talking about this budget, as I close, all of a sudden it's about this budget, but for 8 years you did nothing. But now all of a sudden with the 500, the highest budget, but election year, you've done everything. What about the last 8 years? What about being present for the people and showing up for them instead of cutting their budgets and now putting the money back in place this year to look good for yourself? Thank you.
Mr. Woodford, go ahead. Mr. Woodson, 45 seconds. I mean, Woodford, 45 seconds. Sorry. Okay.
Yes, she did. She referred to my administration. She did.
That's what I was.
Yes. So let's be very clear.
45 seconds.
It's hard to be lectured from a person who just moved into Birmingham the last 8 months, or claimed to live in Birmingham, but only got an apartment. That's one. You're representative of certain parts of that same western part of town that you were rolling off, and they have not done anything for that area, so do not lecture me. Here's the most important thing, though, in Inslee: Fine Clothing, Washington Law Firm, IMC Financial Consulting, Milestone Realty, Heritage Coffee Shop, Sperling Law Firm, and so many other black-owned businesses right now not pointing to the city about what the city is not doing, but hustling and making their own, supporting their community.
Thank you. Next question, we start with Ms. Scales. We're going to start with you with the next question.
But I cannot talk about that.
We're going to keep it right here, Ms. Scales.
Come on.
Neighborhood Association funding has been drastically reduced. In the year 2000, the funding was $10,000 annually. Later, it was cut to $5,000. Currently, the funding is $2,000 annually. What are your plans to increase neighborhood funding?
Thank you. First of all, let me go back, if you don't mind, to say this, because I'm going to stay within my time frame. You all are right here on 4th Avenue. Urban Impact is literally 2 doors down. All you got to do is just go and ask them. You getting funding from the city? The answer is going to be no. You go to Urban League, the answer is no. We playing games tonight, and I get it. But let me just answer your question. With the neighborhood associations, it was this mayor who literally came in when he got elected and wanted to cut the neighborhood funding totally out of the budget. So I don't know what money we have. We need to have a third-party forensic audit with this city budget, because we don't even know where our money is. We know what you publish, we know what you say, but it's not showing up in our neighborhoods. And since it's not, one thing I can guarantee to every neighborhood officer under the sound of my voice, because I've been one, is that I will streamline the process. You're not going to be waiting 6 months, 12 months, 3-4 years, and then I'm going to blame you for why you're not spending your money. You're not spending it because the mayor's not directing the law department to allow your projects to go through. It's time for these projects to be completed. No more broken promises. Let's move this city forward.
Thank you. And to the audience, please don't be hard here. You wonder why children hard here. Grown folk won't even do what they supposed to do. God, dog. And then talk about children. Follow the rules, please. Mr. Woodford.
Yes, sir. So, I told you there will be lies, and here's another example of one. Go next door. I want you to go next door and ask Urban Impact so they can tell you that they're in the budget. That's one. 2, there is a black-owned firm right now, third party, that does auditing for the city of Birmingham, that checks our books every year. That's not affiliated with the city of Birmingham. But here's 3 most importantly related to the question. We have not cut funding for neighborhoods. They've been the same since I've been the mayor. There is a combined $3+ million in all neighborhood funds. We track where the money goes every year. The first thing it goes to is to a NUSA conference out of town, which is not neighborhoods. 2, it goes to the Martin Luther King breakfast every January, and that's for the breakfast and eggs and those type of things. And 3rd, the majority of the money goes to funding. We have presented to the neighborhoods, and we are more than willing to give more money, but we would like to see the money we give actually go to the things you complained about in one of your neighborhood, not field trips, not King breakfast. What I am saying is not new, because every neighborhood officer in this room who's ever attended a neighborhood meeting that I've been in or a town hall meeting, you've heard me say that, and I want to support you, and I'll continue to support you.
Mr. Woodson.
I don't know any other way to be with you than just straight. If the city council doesn't have a voice in the direction of the city, I mean a cooperative voice, an inclusive voice, then there's really no need for the neighborhood associations. Because if you take your thoughts and ideas at the neighborhood level and take them up to the city council, and the city council feels or believes that their hands are tied, there's no plan for you. When they did the budget, they didn't have you on their mind. It stayed at 2,000 because there is no vision for citizen participation in Birmingham, Alabama. If there was, they would fund the vision. They would make the provision. But there is none, except to wind you down and begin to eliminate you and make you irrelevant. It is an unfunded mandate. And as mayor, we're going to have a citizen participation plan that needs to be funded. And I will do that.
Thank you. Ms. Gavan.
Make it make sense, everybody. Make it make sense. That a black leader, I didn't call the person's name or say what type, will stand and say they don't believe and they don't support the Martin Luther King breakfast. Make it make sense that there will be a leader in the city of Birmingham that would dare tell the neighborhoods that they need to take the barely little $2,000 that they get a year, and anything that needs to be cut, such as grass, they need to pay out the $2,000. Make it make sense, everybody. Listen, with that being said, the first thing that I would do is cut some of those 170, 180, and 200 plus $1,000 salaries at the city of Birmingham, for which certain leaders said 8 years ago that that would be the first thing that they would do, but they didn't. Those salaries increased. So in other words, someone in the city of Birmingham as a CEO or leader has made millionaires of people who will not even return your phone call, provide the necessary services for you, pick up your trash, clean your streets, or at least attempt to assist you. Make it make sense, everybody. The first thing I'm going to do is create the Neighborhood Advisory Participation Program. We're going to revamp it, and we're going to restore that $10,000, if not $15,000, $15,000 to the neighborhood associations. There is no excuse for the city of Birmingham not to be able to budget at least $1.5 million to the neighborhoods. These are the people who are keeping this city together. That is what the Gavan Plan 2025 will do. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rice.
Brian Rice.
Yeah.
I'm going to continue to go back to October 13th, 2019. Mayor Woodfin, Economic Development Director, John Hilliard, sitting in my building. I make the statement, our communities are struggling. The response from Woodfin, who is our? The next statement, before we approve this Ramsey McCormick development, we must go before the neighborhood association because it's a requirement when you're tearing down historic properties. I do not want to go before the neighborhood association, Brian, because the neighborhood association is going to address me. Things like that. Let's talk about the black auditor. Can that black auditor see all the fraud? I recommend every last one of you to go to bkrice.com, go to the accountability and ethics page. Today I've released the 2022 FBI letter, DOJ letter. It explains everything. So when we are sending funds to friends, you spoke about IMC Financial Consulting, $1 million for roughly 20 workshops. That is a slap in the face for every teacher. But he's the chairman of the BCRI, or was. We have to stop. We have to stop giving funds to public servants. We must put the people first. That's why my focus is the economy and ethics. I am committed to integrity.
Thank you, Mr. Rice. Rebuttal, Mr. Wood.
Yes, sir. As I've stated, I'm just going to read them again because it's worth reading. Define Clothing, Washington Law Firm, IMC Financial Consulting, Milestone Realty, Heritage Coffee Shop, Sperling Law Firm, and so many other black businesses are successful, but somehow Brian Rice borrowed money to buy a building in the neighborhood he didn't live in, and his building doesn't have value, and it's all of a sudden everyone's fault to the tune. He sues the city of Birmingham. In federal court, the judge dismisses it because there's no standing, and it's everyone else's fault that everyone else in Hensley is successful, and he cannot be.
Thank you. Next question will be going to Mr. Woodford. The Mayor Council Act was changed in 2017, which gave a mayor absolute power. Would you, as mayor, return the Mayor Council Act back to its original form, and how would you accomplish that?
So I want to be clear, the mayor I do not have absolute power. It changed two things. One down in Montgomery. It gave the mayor 2 appointments on the waterworks, and it changed related to the budget process, again, that a state legislator on this day is championed and voted for. With that said, there is nothing wrong with the process now as it relates to how I engage the city council. Notice that there are no city councilors on this stage running for mayor. Here's why. One of the reasons why. They decided not to run, but here's another reason. I have a great working relationship with the council. The reason things are so smooth at City Hall, the reason you all can't pull out your popcorn and hope look for a show and we're fighting and all of that, is because I have a tremendous amount of respect for them. And we go through a process together where I get their requests, their needs, their issues from the districts they represent. We co-listen to the residents. We co-agree to a budget process, and we do that every year. And that is why it's been so smooth. If you want to change course, just know there are folks on this stage that do not have the ability to work with others, and things would go back to the way they were, not the change in the Mayor Council Act, but the better relationships between mayor and council.
There was a rebuttal, Ms. Caban.
The city of Birmingham needs a mayor that is mature enough to handle the role and responsibilities that he took under that oath of office some years ago. Birmingham has no kings. We have a bifurcated system of government for a reason. What is lacking in City Hall is a level of maturity. I was one of those persons who voted to change the Mayor Council Act back then. Why? Because there was so much friction and gridlock within the city of Birmingham. Never envisioning that we would have a person that is so immature, who has decided to hold all the power within their hands, who refuses to allow for an executive, legislative, and judicial branch of government to work for itself. That is why we have one lobbyist who answers to the mayor. That is why the Waterworks Board is gone now, because the mayor knew and he failed to do it. And I am the same legislator who moved into the city of Birmingham last year, for which the law says that you move in within 90 days of the election.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator.
No, it was a rebuttal. He said a legislator, Ms. Scales.
Can I get the question, please?
Frank, okay, Mr. Woodson. The Mayor Council Act was changed in 2017, which gave absolute power. Would you, as mayor, return the Mayor Council Act to its original form, and how would you accomplish that?
I'll say this right here. We're seeing in real time play out in Washington, D.C. what it looks like when we don't have a balance of power. That's what it looks like. I knew that it would happen. That's why I voted for Kamala Harris, without a doubt. That they would acquiesce to that executive leader, just as it appears that this council has done until I really read the Council Act and saw where they believed that they were hand-tied and the like. I don't trust flesh. I don't trust humanity. When you have privileges that others don't have, it's easy for you to feel superior. The city council, they all have new cars. They're making record money and record profit. When we have it like this, there's no check, there's no balance. I mean, we couldn't stand and fight together for the Waterworks Board, our delegation. The executive branch of the city and our 3 state senators, they went different directions. One was silent. The other one said we might as well go along. Why were they not on the same page until we got to getting the mayor a pay raise? All of a sudden, everybody's on the same page during the same time, you all. We need checks and balances, and we need a council that has more teeth to hold the mayor accountable.
Thank you, Mr. Woodson. Ms. Gavan.
Would you repeat the question?
Yes, ma'am. The Mayor Council Act has changed in 2017, was changed in 2017, which gave absolute power. Would you, as mayor, return the Mayor Council Act to its original form, and how would you accomplish that?
I will acquiesce to the wishes and desires of the people. This mayor 8 years ago ran on a ticket, and he swore to the people when he asked you for your vote, that would be one of the first initiatives that he would take into consideration and ask the legislature. For the last 8 years, I've spoken to this mayor every year at the beginning of the session. And one of the things that he did not want opened up was the Mayor Council Act. And if you notice, for 8 years, it has not. And usually by now we have it open and we will make modifications. But at the request of this mayor, who says he doesn't want the power, and that he has such a superb city council, a city council for which, as you see on Tuesday, they don't hardly open their mouth to ask one question, debate, or deliberate with this particular mayor. So at the end of the day, make it make sense, and we're going to fact check, because I have legislators lined up that would vouch for me on every word that I just said. So I want you to come on and rebut this, because at the end of the day, this is about maturity. This is about someone who is not trying to be a king, a monarch, and have a monarch walking around here talking on the with the Michael Jackson tone and mumbling through his teeth when he's doing all other type of evil, low-down, hateful things, such as paying people to harass me publicly, verifiable by the Alabama Bureau of Investigation. Thank you.
Thank you. You got 45 seconds, Mr. Woodson.
Well, I will tell you this, everybody. State Representative Gavan and I don't talk every year. But when we did talk back in 2018, I want to be very clear what she told me. Mayor, don't try to open up the Mayor Council Act, because you would be opening up Pandora's box. Those were her exact words. Let me be very, very clear. You've heard everything she just said. I told y'all yesterday, people running out of spite. If you can hear that spite and pettiness and vindictiveness in her voice, a person who just ran for Congress in a district she didn't live in, and now is running for mayor in a city she doesn't live in. What's your next question?
All right. Let's go to Mr. Rice, is where we are right now. No, Mr. Gavan just finished. We're at Mr. Rice, right?
Okay, yes.
Let's go, Mr. Rice.
When it comes to the Mayor Council Act, we can't just change it and reverse it back to what it was. We must go back to 1999 when Mayor William Bell lost the election to Bernard Kincaid. All 5 city councilors voted against Bernard Kincaid to make sure he didn't have additional power to add a city ordinance that would address issues associated with the Mayor Council Act. Then now we have to go to 2016 when Mayor William Bell and others changed the Mayor Council Act to add more power because there was friction. Number 2, the Mayor Council Act was created in 1955, implemented around 1960s. I will not just reverse anything back, because that was created in the time of Jim Crow. We must look at everything, and we must compare it to the entire country to make sure we have the best governing structure for our citizens. The first thing I would do is grant power to the city council to start reviewing the Mayor Council Act. I want to make sure they have their own attorney because I want to make sure we have separation of powers in the city of Birmingham. The executive branch shall not do the duties of the legislative branch, and the legislative branch shall not do the duties of the judicial branch. I want to make sure that city council has an appropriate voice, appropriate attorneys, so they can speak for the people.
Thank you. Ms. Scales.
Well, I was a city council member that was actually affected by the change of the 2016 Mayor Council Act. And one of the things that I'm very clear on is that it is absolutely true that when this mayor ran, he said that he was going to get the Mayor Council Act reversed or changed. And the reason being is because the 2016 Act was to help William Bell. And it was a saying of, you know, hey, well, he had absolute power. Yeah, well, all kind of stuff happened at City Hall because of that. Now, you can't see it being wrong when this person worked for his boss and ran against his boss, and now you mad and saying, well, we get along fine. I'm sure you do. And all of you and most city council members are being funded by the same folk. Yet when it come down to the neighborhoods, you want to say that they're going on a field trip. You talking about a free job, and when they get the opportunity to have any kind of development, that's a field trip. You want to have something in your community, that's a fun day. But you're trying to even merge all of that together. And let me say this before you go there with this little fat chat. 8 years, and you want to say I ran for 3 offices. That's not only is it true, but let's talk about the facts, because I already know where it's going. Number one, I stayed on the council for 9 years, never ran for anything else. I ran for commission because I saw quickly he was not going to do what he said he was going to do. And I needed to look out for the people that I had convinced to vote for him. I am now running for mayor because 47% of my district is Birmingham, and he's absolutely made me and everyone else out of a lie. So we're not going to be tricked by the politics. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Scales. Rebuttal, 45 seconds.
Yes, sir. As we see, the personal pettiness continues to rear its head, so let me just say this, and let me be very clear. 2017, runs for City Council, 2018, County Commission, 2021, Mayor, 2022, County Commission, 2025, Mayor, over and over running for various offices. That is happening right now on this stage. People are playing musical chairs to get to different seats. They don't want to serve people, they want power.
James,
That's to keep it accurate.
Okay.
Commissioner
to keep it
Tyson,
accurate.
you got
I'm
45.
Scales. Tyson behind you. Scales right here.
Commissioner Scales.
Okay, number one.
Let's keep it accurate.
Thank
you got
you.
45 seconds.
Absolutely. 17, I was a council member, and the only council member that helped you to run for mayor. Let's be clear on that. 2018 is when I ran for county commission. I went over in November. And now in 21, I ran because you, sir, have not made good on not one promise that you've made to this city. And in 25, you still lying to this city, and the people of Birmingham know about it. So when you want to stake my record, I'm not like none of these other folk up here. I'm telling you to your face. You tell the truth. Now, that's a fact. Now, you can fact check that. Thank you.
Thank you. Since Representative Duran was mentioned, 45 seconds.
Since I am a person who believes in democracy and the Constitution of the United States, you don't have to live in a district to run for Congress. It's called me making a decision for myself. At the end of the day, you can pretend to stand here in front of these people and act like the wounded dog. You have 1,000 people that have died under your leadership during the pandemic. 1,000 mothers and fathers because of your dereliction of duty, regardless of where you live. And if you live in the city of Birmingham, you haven't done anything with what you had to work with, living where you live, for the people who elected you in the place that you stay. With that being said, Mr. Moderator, I appreciate you for the opportunity to respond to this CEO.
Thank you. Let's go to the next question, please. And we're starting with Mr. Woodson. Housing is a big issue in our city. What would you do as a mayoral candidate? What would be your mayoral candidate plan for affordable and market rate housing in order to restore the city's housing portfolio?
I want to say this, that Birmingham is a tale of two cities. And probably the majority of Birmingham may not be represented here tonight. We've got to make real affordable housing in 175,000 220, 240,000 is not affordable housing for working class people. It's not affordable housing for the 32,000 seniors that called Birmingham home, who marched and bled and were broken so that we would have rights that otherwise we would not have, let alone the ability to even step foot in the mayor's office or in these buildings downtown. We've got an overstock of housing, and if we use the land bank correctly, we can create affordable housing. It may not be all that great if you make $180,000, $200,000, $210,000, but when you are on fixed income, if you can get a house through the land bank and clean off the back taxes and the liens, and your mortgage be what you put in there, $60,000 or $80,000, and then it will double or triple in value, the after rehab value. We can recruit people back to Birmingham. We can help the homeless situation.
Thank you, sir.
And we can bring our kids home.
Thank you. Ms. Caban.
Could you repeat the question?
Sure. Housing is a big issue in our city. What will you do as mayor? As a mayor, what will you do with your mayoral candidate plan for affordable housing and market rate housing in order to restore the city's housing portfolio?
All of the big 10 cities get together, they meet, and they do a review of the successes in their cities. All of them are announcing 2,000 houses, 5,000 houses, 6,000 houses, 100,000, whatever the number is, except for Birmingham. Birmingham has lost 40,000 people over the course of the last 8 years. We're now number 4 in the state behind Huntsville, Mobile, and Montgomery. That means the monies that come down from the pecking order comes to us last. The first thing we're going to have to do is, first of all, before we build houses, we need to address the rent crisis in the city of Birmingham. Rent is too high in the city of Birmingham. There needs to be a rent moratorium so our seniors could live a little bit better and with a little more comfort in their neighborhoods. We've got to also address the issue of that we need to fix the issue with the squatters and the homeless population in this city. There has not been one full housing development built in the city of Birmingham with at least 200 houses since 8, maybe 12 years ago. It is unacceptable. That's since Oxford. We're going to work with contractors. We're going to build some houses in the city of Birmingham, but we're going to also look at building market rate housing as well as affordable housing to give everyone an opportunity to have a piece of the pie and to live where he or she chooses to live. But the first thing we must address is the crises at hand with the people who can barely make ends meet with wherever they are living now, as well as the squatters that are living next to them in houses that they have not rented or purchased. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rice. I'm sorry about that, brother.
So to the question about housing, everyone must understand the book called How to Kill a City. It is on this administration's book club list. It's a great book. It teaches how to copy the model of New Orleans, how to copy the model of Detroit, Flint, Michigan, where they were condemning properties of African Americans faster than anyone else, taking properties, right-sizing cities. In our comprehensive plan in the city of Birmingham, which was released around 13 or 14, and in the 2017 SHAPE study, it specifically says we must retreat from channeling resources to revitalization in these underutilized areas to promote growth. We must keep focusing on demolition. We have taught ourselves to be second class. We celebrate demolition and no development. We must put incentives in our communities to make sure we are developing properties. We're developing these lots. If you look at the north side, south side framework plan, so I'm thankful for everyone who lives in that community. It's the most detailed plan in the city of Birmingham. It talks about the importance of investing in these underutilized lots. And it says the investment will benefit the city more than just demolition. It's there. We must follow what is right. We must do what is right, and we must protect the taxpayers.
Thank you. Ms. Scales.
Thank you. First of all, Hoover is in the process right now of building 5,000 homes. and Birmingham is still talking about what we're going to do in the future. So let me just tell you, as mayor, that's why institutional knowledge matters. All these vacant lots, the city can incentivize beyond land banking, that we can partner not only to provide affordable housing, because we can use the Community Reinvestment Act. Again, the city has put money in these banks. The banks need to in turn support the community. That was a federal mandate. And let me also say, community development also received federal funds to do what? Build communities. That's why it's called community development. The city of Birmingham has gotten away from a lot of practices that all we have to do is to reinstitute it. Talking about Attorney Sperling, I'm glad about that, because he and I have talked a couple of weeks ago about community development that the city gives zero incentives for. He's building this on his own. You have to employ black contractors, people who have this kind of knowledge as to how do we take and transform all of these blighted communities, east, north, west, and build our city so we can attract people back to the city of Birmingham. So I just wanted to make sure that we knew that, in addition to the fact there's neighborhood housing. At one time, Birmingham would partner with neighborhood housing so that we could build housing in underserved communities. But we can also have market rate housing as well.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
So you've also heard made-up numbers, which I told you it would be. One person on this stage said we've lost 40,000 people since I've been mayor. Another said I've lost 16,000. Both of those numbers are not true. But we believe in a balanced approach as it relates to affordable housing. Although we have spent $15 million since I've been mayor of removing blighted structures throughout our city, we've spent $16.6 million combined in critical repair program for existing homeowners, down payment assistance program up to $10,000 for new homeowners, and partnering with private developers to build new affordable homes in Bellevue Heights, Fountain Heights, Woodlawn, North Pratt, and so many other neighborhoods. But here is something we've really done. Under the Biden administration, not money handed to us, but at a competitive grant process, competing with other cities across the nation, we won a $50 million choice grant to build 900 new affordable units, housing units, in the Smithfield community. That is real change, that is real progress that will happen in this city. And Senator Linda Coleman Madison passed SB 9 that now allows us to be aggressive and go after those tax lien land lot, empty lots that owe the city money, so we can put houses back on those lots.
Thank you. This will be the last question of the night, and then we will go to closing statements. Okay? We're starting with you, Ms. Govan, again. As mayor, what is your vision or plan for all 99 neighborhoods and 23 communities? And where do you see the city in the next 10 years?
I am going to bring this city out of the pandemic. As you've heard on this stage, all of these numbers that that someone is speaking about fact checking. Look at the neighborhoods. Look at the 99 neighborhoods minus maybe 4 or 5. Something's broken with this system. I am going to go in and I am going to do a true revitalization. This city has not totally flatlined, but it's certainly on life support. CPR, C for crime. We're going to control, conquer, and combat it. P, people protection and progress. R, invest, restore, and revitalize our neighborhoods. Something is wrong with this picture. All of this conversation up here about what I have done, show me the money. Show me where there is progress in these neighborhoods. Show me progress in these. I'm going to develop a plan for each neighborhood because each neighborhood is unique within itself. But the first thing you must do is touch the people. You need to be accessible. That is why on Fridays I'm going to have a real talk with the mayor so I can figure out and hear the needs of the people and address those needs. That is the problem in the city of Birmingham. That is why promises were made 8 years ago and promises unkept. That is why we have a king inside of City Hall, because now we have a king that's looking down down on the neighborhoods
Thank
as
you.
if they're peasants.
Thank you, Ms. Covan. Mr. Rice.
What am I going to do for all 99 neighborhoods? The first thing I am going to do is call a meeting with all business owners in the city. Why would I do that? It's because we need to understand why you're not growing. Where are the business interferences? Why are you not able to develop across the city? We must, and then we have to treat it differently. It's not just downtown developers. There are commercial districts on the west side, commercial districts on the east side, and I don't think they have someone that they feel like they can go to. There's a lot of business interference that's taking place in City Hall. One of the things I want to make sure I do is create a specialist in our attorney office that's focused on economic rights and property rights. I want to make sure these attorneys are working for the citizens of the city of Birmingham. I want to make sure they're looking for anything that's blocking them from developing. We must create jobs in this city. We need to overload the grid. We must improve these buildings in Birmingham. We must create more revenue so we can have more funds for different services. What else do I see? We have an airport. Everything around the airport looks awful. We need to make sure our airport and the area around it is developed with hotels and restaurants. So when people travel, they have a place to spend money in Birmingham. And things like Protective Stadium and amphitheaters, we're gonna make sure we look at any future contracts to make sure we get as much money as possible out of them.
Thank you, Mr. Rice. Ms. Scales.
Thank you. That's the good part about having institutional knowledge. You don't have to come up with a plan. The city already got a plan. It's called Southside and Downtown. So why would you have to do that? Instead of getting mad or angry with the people on the South Side, get angry with the leadership. Since someone accused me of not getting along, I didn't get along because on the east side of Birmingham, you would do for one sector of the town, and you didn't do it in my area, the north area, the west area where I grew up, right? We don't need a plan. The city needs to expand what it's already doing. You have livable, walkable, safe communities. You think I'm telling you a story? Go to the local park. Oh, Railroad Park, the one we put $1 million in? Look at your neighborhood park. Let's talk about the police. They have caps, they have the police, and they also clean up nightly. When you get your garbage picked up, when you have what you need in your community, broken promises. So let me just tell you something, folks. You don't need a new plan. You need a man that has the courage to say what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And not for a campaign. I got the battle scars to prove I've stood strong. Because I understand at the end of the day, most people that are functioned and supported by Over the Mountain, I have yet to find one that they could go back home to Over the Mountain and live when they got out of office. Don't take a new plan, just work the plan you already have.
Thank you. Mr. Woodford.
Since you invoked me, I want to thank you for admitting you're running because we don't get along. I also want to say that be bullish on Birmingham. Get you a mayor or keep you a mayor that is going to be positive about the forward trajectory we're taking the city. What we have not mentioned on this dais, and it's worth mentioning, is that for the first time in 30 years, Birmingham City Schools saw an increase in its population. That means we are doing something right, that families are choosing to stay here and families want to be here to educate their children in our school system. That is one. Two, jobs, jobs, jobs. We we cut the ribbon on a brand new research facility today and will produce at least 100 jobs. But beyond that, we've been designated as a biotechnology hub by the federal government, which will unlock millions of dollars and allow us to create an additional 10,000 jobs over the next 10 years in that sector, along with advancing and supporting other various sectors of advanced manufacturing and others, including financial services in our city, because Wall Street Journal just announced Birmingham is in the top 5 cities in this nation where young people after college choose to be. People want to be in this city. Get positive on your city. Not all this negative stuff you're hearing because you're just running for mayor. We are moving in the right direction, and 10 years from now, this city's population would have increased. 10 years from now, we would have one of the best school systems because our reading scores, math scores continue to go up, and families want to live in the city of Birmingham.
Since it was directed towards you, Ms. Scales, 45 seconds.
In all honesty, I like you, man. I just don't like the way you do things. And let me just say this. When it comes to business, I have no enemies. You got to learn how to work together to get beyond personalities. When I said we already have a footprint, we do. And it's already working. But you know the reason why Birmingham is in the shape it's in, and it was #1 and now #4? Because of just this denial that you see right now. You can't fix what you don't see as a problem. People are leaving here by the thousands. And if you think I'm giving wrong numbers, all you have to do is Google, folks. 2017, there were over 2,200. Okay. All they got to do is Google.
Yeah, 45 seconds. Mr. Woodson, it's your time. Answer the question.
Please repeat that question, sir.
Okay, let's make sure. He made me forget it. All the talking going on. Woo! As mayor, what is your vision or plan for all 99 neighborhoods, 23 communities, and where do you see the city in the next 10 years?
The city's not neighborhoods. The city is people. It's not research projects or anything like that. It's people. It's people that are traumatized from holding babies in their arms while they're looking at the yellow tape. The city is people. People that can't get food and groceries in the communities that they live. Because depending on your zip code, depends on your services and your access to resources. At some point, people lose sight of people. A city is not transformed until the hearts of the people are transformed, until their lives are transformed, until we level everybody up. We're going to take care of the people. Make sure everybody sleeps well and that they don't have to move out of one part of a town to the other part of town because it's not safe for their family. I live on the west side. Instead of moving to a safer part, on the south side, I made a decision to stay there for 26 years and work to make sure that we get a safer west side and north side and east side. All the attacks and all of that takes us away from the part of realizing that our communities or the people that live in our communities are hurting. I'm going to make sure everybody has access to food.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, now we go to the part of the program. You got 2 minutes for your closing statements. We will start right here with Mr. Rice. You have 2 minutes.
I will never abandon the underserved. I will commit to my original dream of moving back to Birmingham and figuring out a way to create healthy and balanced communities. I will continue to live in downtown Inslee until we figure out a way to develop areas where I have to live behind center block just to feel safe. I will focus on safety for our seniors. I will remove any plans that add to concentration of poverty. And for example, with the Inslee High School development, 244 new units added next to another development where it's mostly low income. I will be committed to making sure we don't have more concentration of poverty. I will make sure we do not keep sending money to Atlanta friends. I will make sure we focus on local business first. I am committed to making sure we bring jobs into Birmingham, restore buildings in Birmingham, restore communities in Birmingham, and making sure that people in these communities have opportunity. I know what it's like to wake up King every morning. Willie King, I walk in his building every morning. He sleeps in an abandoned building and I wake him up 3 to 5 days a week. I have no resources because banks appraise my buildings at $0. Everyone knows it's fraud, but no one will stand up. I will make sure I stand up for all businesses that come to me for anything like that. I will make sure all redlining in the city is investigated. Federal Opportunity Zones is coming back under the presidential Trump administration. I will make sure it is rewritten to make sure all of Birmingham is included properly. Got a few seconds. The last thing I'm going to close with, I am committed to integrity. I want to make sure everyone goes to bkrice.com. There's a lot more there. I want to make sure you look me up. And please vote for Brian K. Rice, August 26th.
Thank you, Mr. Rice. Ms. Scales.
Well, first of all, I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight. I want to say, as being a council member as well as a commissioner, I'm dedicated to you. I know what it is to be broke. I used to say that my mom and I were so broke we couldn't afford the OR, so we were poor. That's the reason why I serve the way I do, because I know what it is to have to be a voiceless person in a crowded room. I know that Birmingham can be better. I know we can also bring magic back to this city. But a tragic reality that we have is that we don't have anyone that really wants to admit we got problems. I said that when I was on the council. How can you be a majority black city with a black mayor and a majority black city council and black people are still struggling? We got to get beyond struggling and we got to let the city of Birmingham live. Go to scalesbhm.com. And I want you to know we got to have a leader that's going to fight for us. Because guess what? The state of Alabama is now talking about taking control over our police department through the ability to appoint our police chief. Everybody quiet about it, but that's what's on the horizon. The Trump administration and the Tommy Tuberville administration, they are cutting out programs. This election will be like none other. We got to get out and vote. No more lies and selling pies. We got to get back to putting Birmingham first and its people. Tuesday, August 26th, vote LaShonda Scales as your mayor. I got the battle scars to show that I love you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Scales. Mr. Woodford.
Thank you all for the opportunity tonight. For the past hour and a half, you've heard two different versions of Birmingham. One where people on this stage will have you believe there has been absolutely no progress made in this city, which we know is absolutely not true. And then you've heard another version where our school system has significant improvement, not just in academics and reading and math scores, but in actual, not attendance and enrollment of. That is real progress. Housing developments across various sides of town, east, west, and north. That's real progress in our community. Crime down, police recruitment up, with the highest class currently we just did in August 8th, the highest in 14 years. In the next class this month, probably the highest in Birmingham's history. Real progress. Real progress. I want to be very clear with what's at stake. I want your vote August 26th because we are moving in the right direction and we need to continue that forward trajectory. When you have people who run out of spite and for whatever personal reason and don't have vision, that does not move our city and it does not give you progress in your neighborhoods. Stick with us on the course that is big picture, that is team-oriented, that's a vision, and we're moving the direction of our city forward that works for all people, improving their quality of life. We'll be live after the debate on our Facebook channel. Be sure to check us out as we talk about this debate. And please visit randallwoodfin.com to learn more about our vision and what we're doing next over the next 4 years. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mr. Woodson.
Yeah, we can't have it both ways. I'm running for mayor because we need a leader. We need somebody that's not dodging, accepting responsibility for the solution. When the schools weren't doing good, we blamed the teachers. Y'all remember that. Teachers union got upset. Schools work hard and things go better. Now it's we. People were dying at an alarming rate here in Birmingham, number at the very top in the nation. It's them and those single mamas, and it's you all in the families, and that's the problem. But when homicides drop across the nation, we're winning with a police force that is a fraction of what it needs to be, with violent crime still continuing to rise. Let me say it now. The homicides in Birmingham are not the mayor's fault. But we need a leader that says, I will be responsible for the solution. I will step forward. I will lead the fight. Our children are going to bed hungry. You're on the west side, 34% of our kids, or upward around there, are living in poverty and food insecure. It's a tell of two Birminghams. I'm here for all of Birmingham. The folks south, a lot of folks south, they're doing good. Oxford, they're doing good, man. But there are people that are hurting, and they don't have a voice because the neighborhoods have been cut off. And there's nobody to speak, and I told them I would speak for you wherever you are, and I will not pass the buck. It's on me to find that solution. I'm Frank Woodson. I want to be your next mayor. I'm asking for a job. I won't embarrass you, and I won't lie to you. I want to change our city. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Caban.
Running for mayor is not a rite of passage. Operating City Hall like it's the Morehouse SGA Student Government Association. Make it make sense, Birmingham. Birmingham Southern sits dormant because Alabama A&M was blackballed intentionally by this mayor. That's why Birmingham Southern is not occupied by Alabama A&M, because calls went out, verifiable call, the president called his office, all because he didn't timely respond to the leader of the city regarding the Birmingham promise. It's verifiable. Make it make sense, Birmingham. When he took office, we had potholes. They now look like craters. You can sit in them. Progress? Make it make sense. I've been under attack. We have on white today because we have been under brutal attack by this man who would sit up here and mumble under his breath, acting as if he is a little boy. No, this is a big man's job. This is a big man's job. And at the end of the day, no, I'm going to say what I need to say because I've been insulted. So at the end of the day, there's no anchor tenant store downtown. You cannot build a city without an anchor tenant store. There is no real growth in the neighborhoods. Potholes, cracked streets, paper litter, trash, and debris, and a one-week trash pickup in urban areas. Make it make sense, Birmingham. I'm going to close like this. If you like what you have, keep it. If you like someone who doesn't come to see about you, keep it. My mama always told me if a man loves you, he'll take care of you. Love is what love does. And if you've been loved by this man, you keep him on August 26th. Because at the end of the day, a man who will not even fix a pothole in front of my house, pick up the trash, brush, litter, debris, and make sure that I'm okay, he doesn't love me. On August 26th, vote a woman who can. State Representative Wandalyn Lily Gavan. Y'all have tried every kind of man in the world. A white man, an old man, a young man, a tall man. Everything but a woman. Thank you.
Can we give them all a round of applause, please? Thank you. Before we leave, I want to thank some people. I want to thank West Law Firm. Weiss, is it West? West Law Firm, is he in here? All right, thank you. Second Chance Bail Bonds, are they there? Thank you guys, Fire Ruffin Allen, Chai. My Bistro on 19th, baby. Thank you for the food. Thank you so much. Mama Africa Naturals. Thank you guys. Family. And Sweet Ease Delectables. I want to thank you for everything. And thank you, citizens, for coming. We made it through. I got y'all. Now I'm saving them. I got them. Calm down. I want to thank all y'all for coming out. And y'all give a big round of applause for the He Building. Look how pretty it was looking up there. The decorateur and everything. So we want to thank you guys also. I want to thank Brandon for worrying me all day. Thank you, Brandon. Thank Isis. And we also got a pre-show, post-show that's about to take place. But y'all are welcome to exit, and thank you for coming, and we appreciate you. And make sure y'all listen to the show tomorrow. There'll be something to talk about.